What would happen if we tried to create the cutest pet possible? Would there be room for other pets? Could we create a pet that was too cute? What would happen if the genetic engineering went wrong? And what do these impossibly cute pets have to do with the total destruction of Monaco? This is the story of Galaxy's Cutest Pet. What If presents Future Now. Welcome to the Galaxy's Cutest Pet. For 15 years, the GCP, as fans call it, has been a reality show sensation. Each season brings together breeders, scientists, and pet enthusiasts in a competition to have their creation crowned the Galaxy's Cutest by a panel of celebrity judges. By halfway through the first season, it was clear GCP would be a smash success, as over 60 million people watched the finale, where Kawaii Mi, a Siamese Corgi crossbreed, won the first title. Victorious pets would go on tours. Who could forget Lady Charm's win in the second season that led to a parade in their home country of Morocco? Or Max Sot, the first ever winner based on reptile DNA. The profits rolled in from Progres, the French cosmetics and pharma giant that owned GCP. Crazed fans bought tens of millions of the designer pets in the 2070s. As time went on, Progres realized it had a problem. It had been too successful. By season 10, almost everyone who wanted a cutest pet had one. In order to spur demand, Progres decided to push the pets into the stratosphere of luxury. Now, similar to the Olympics, cities could bid to host the GCP, with the winning city getting not only the broadcast, but gaining its citizens exclusive rights to purchase the Galaxy's Cutest Pet. It worked like a charm. Warsaw, the first winning city, threw a month-long party, pulling in pet devotees from all over the earth. Off-worlders folded in from the colonies and beyond. Flush with old money and a love for hedonism, Europe quickly dominated, outbidding all comers on a near-annual basis. Rich and glamorous European influencers became inseparable from their GCPs. Folds of countesses and socialites with replicats in their purses or serendipities wrapped around their neck became ubiquitous. Sales of the pets, which had been lagging, surged as people clamored to get their hands on reissued limited editions. A pet investing culture began to bloom, and since Progres took a cut of the resale market, they were happy to encourage it. GCP had evolved into the perfect brand, until the Adora-Bon Affair. The season 12 winner had been a record breaker for a number of reasons. It was the first avian to win Cutest Pet, could tell you it loved you in 16 languages, was the size of a Shetland pony, making it perfect for riding, and was unveiled at the top of the Eiffel Tower. The Adora-Bon drop set sales records, with the launch being worth more than any two Cutest Pet launches combined. The only problem was that the Adora-Bon was a nightmare of a pet. Its extremely long neck meant it often choked to death on simple meals. If it survived eating, the bird's digestive system was so delicate that anything but GCP brand seed packs would give it explosive diarrhea. Progres probably could have survived the choking and shitting, but it was the third flaw that did them in. The Adora-Bons that survived underwent a nasty personality change in their third year of life. Then, deeply ingrained predatory instincts came to the fore. And given the size of the Adora-Bon, that was a potentially lethal problem. Soon the news was filled with stories of rogue birds the size of sofas attacking other pets, children, mirrors, or any other reflective surfaces. And for reasons that nobody could explain, but that disturbed everyone, any art that looked vaguely like human genitals. Nicknamed junk birds by the tabloids, the Adora-Bons were rounded up and destroyed, but not before deeply damaging the GCP brand. With sales plunging and season 16 Monaco tracking to be the least watched since the debut, Progres was desperate. How could they get people back to wanting their cute pets? The answer? changed the rules. Since the inception of GCP, a core regulation was that no pet was allowed to be engineered in such a way that it could chemically influence the judges. Get rid of the rule, and the pets could be manipulated to magnify their appeal. The final came down to two pets, Snuffy Up and Mr. Big Eyes. Both pets were adorable. Both of them were well-mannered, and neither had any strange genetic side effects that would see them go off the rails like a certain bird whose name was now Mud. Well, unless you counted the fact that Snuffy emitted a scent that made those who smelled it instantly enamored. And Mr. Big Eye's adorable stare could, if you looked for more than 5 seconds, push you into a hypnotic state where only you wanted to take care of him and his needs. To make matters worse, in order to drum up global interest in the finale, Progres staged a series of happenings across Monaco, bringing out the principalities rich and famous to rub shoulders with Snuffy Up and Mr. Big Eyes. Having been exposed to the stare and smell of the fatally fury finalists, things went sideways quickly when head judge Thorsten van Middelswab announced that Snuffy Up was the winner, only to be butchered live on air by celebrity chef Marquis Concetta del Funghi, a supporter of Mr. Big Eyes. At that point, things escalated quickly as the transfixed people of Monaco went feral. Roving gangs of pet-addled millionaires rioting in the streets, dripping in diamonds, pearls, and small conventional arms. It was, to be put bluntly, a bloodbath. The Big Eyes Brigade took it upon themselves to amputate the noses of anyone they saw so that Snuffy's hell smell couldn't turn them. Quite logically, but just as disturbingly, the Snuffy Squad blinded anyone they came across, using not their razor-sharp cheekbones, but literal razors. The European Union sent in troops to try and quell the street fighting, but they were too late. The madness had taken its hold. Rather than put down the local population and terrified that Snuffy or Mr. Big Eyes might escape, they hastily built the Pound, a massive wall around the principality, with orders to shoot on sight anyone who approached. The only saving grace? That Mr. Big Eyes and Snuffy's powers only worked live. The massive audience that had tuned into the finale were not infected. In the aftermath, Progres declared bankruptcy, but not before paying millions in bonuses to its top executives and spinning off all of its intellectual property into a new firm, Avance. Avance now uses the genetic breakthroughs from Season 16 to headline its military division and is worth more than almost any individual country on Earth. As for Mr. Big Eyes and Snuffy Up, they were never found, although rumors persist that the two creatures bewitched each other and that now, 5 years later, their twisted offspring roam the empty streets of Monaco, waiting for someone to climb the Pound and let them out. Are you Team Snuffy Up or Mr. Big Eyes? Let us know in the comments. This is Future Now, a story world you can shape and control. Subscribe to Future Now and dive even deeper into the multiverse of possibility that is our future, where you can meet the transhumanists, the faction that sees humanity's future as a destiny of augmentation and genetic improvement. Join the community at thisisfuturenow.com.